This is Sybert signing in to Red Alert 3 on the map, Plow. More random for the win, 71 games in the north. As the Orange Allies, this is Happy. In the south, as the Cyan Empire, this is Zugspitze. Zugspitze? Zugspitze? It's Zug something. Empire versus Allies. Anytime you're on a map, you always got to look at it. Well, anytime you're playing Allies on a map, you always got to look at it through the lens of, where's this guy going to park his MCV so that he can turret push me? And for Snowplow, it's, anywhere from here to over here. So, sometimes we do see players set up in their opponent's kind of water and then try and turret push from there. But clearing out those buildings, Javelin Trooper is going to be probably grabbing a Naval Yard and a Riptide over here. And then, 5 Javelin Troopers inside of that guy just to get a little bit more damage done. Dojos split to each of the oil derricks, so they both will be captured by Zug, which is a great opening for him. And the engineer that you saw a little bit while ago in the north is going to be, I guess, going the long way. So he wants to avoid getting sniped. He's going to be going out onto the water where it's a little bit safer. 2 Riptides are here, and then the Naval Yard sold off immediately, and the airfield is the follow-up. So pretty common Allied opener, although I think the airfield follow-up that quickly before the second refinery is where things diverge and are a little bit different. 1 tank buster, no, 2 tank busters going to be getting a little bit of damage out there, or maybe it was just the 1, but the animation there making it look like 2. Riptide's down to a little bit of health, and there's a big laser lock on this first power plant. It's going down for sure. Great move there by Happy, and this first Tengu is on out, but forces the transform, which means he's going to get 2. No, he's actually going for the refinery, and this refinery will go down as well. So a tremendous opening here by Happy, kind of a clinic in how you should handle this kind of a situation, how you should pull off this big... No, he gets the crush with the MCV. Great by Zugspitze. I cannot believe that he got that crush. I was just saying Happy was given like a clinic on how to do this build, but it was absolutely insane how much that just turned back around. Now make no mistake, Happy is still in the superior position. Anytime you're 2 refineries to your opponent's 1 where their MCV had to pack up and drive around for a while before unpacking to try and, oh, he's strapped for cash as well. Yeah, so it worked out for Happy, all things considered, but what a great opening by Happy. This Apollo getting just far enough away from those Tangus to be able to get the kill on one of them, and the second one as well! Perfect control of that Apollo. Those of you, some of you may not know that Apollos have a minimum firing distance, so you have to be outside of a certain range for the Apollo to be able to hit you. That was probably the worst way possible to explain that. If Tangus or MiGs or other Apollos get too close to an Apollo, it can't fire. So what he was trying to do, what Zugspitze was trying to do was get too close to that Apollo so it couldn't kill the Tangus, but Happy pulled around just in the perfect way to be able to get the kill on those Tangus. And one thing that you can try and do is make use of that minimum range to work against the Allied player, but in that case, Happy just handled it absolutely perfectly. Second refinery finally up and running for Zugspitze. Going to be dropping a Defender Core, but it gets eliminated immediately. Oh, that's rough. That is difficult. Spend that cash and you don't even get to deploy it. Third refinery up and running for Happy, and now he's in a position of strength. So now it's either going to have to be some incredible plays from Zugspitze, or it's going to have to be a big throw from Happy. But the Defender Core is now out, which will buy enough time. I think he's got the Tier 2. Yeah, he's up to Tier 2. So that's bought him enough time to get out Tier 2, but it also means that you can, try and get out a couple of strikers while the turret buys you some time. Okay, it barely comes offline. Oh my gosh, it comes online at the last possible second, fires a single rocket, but does nothing. else. Naval Yard also here out on the field, and a barracks going to be coming up as well. Unfortunately, there's nothing producing from it, so it's not like a sneaky engineer was going to show up to get a cap on that MCV or something. It's just an Imperial Warrior who gets crushed by the MCV. And the MCV going to be driving around this barracks, and then he just says, all right, if you want to build a barracks there and build some walls, that's fine. I'm just going to drive past them and go and turret push you. This is exactly what that Defender Corps was supposed to help deal with. It's supposed to give you time to be able to get your strikers up and running. But there were no strikers out, and the Vindicator only took a single missile, so a little bit unfortunate there for Zugspitze. Still happy. Oh, okay, so that's a dog way down there in the south. Not that engineer from earlier. Vindicator's going to be sending a couple of bombs onto that dojo and just delaying those Vindicators from doing anything else. And for now, ooh, it's an MCV cell. So drops the dojo. He's got the Mecha Bay as well. He's up to that tier 2, and that is going to have to be good enough for the next couple of minutes. Of course, you always can rebuild that MCV, but very often the game will end one way or the other before that. Harvester going out for the scout in its gun mode, going to be seeing what it can do, seeing if it can do anything at all, but it will just get cleaned up by these Vindicators. A second bombing run will be utilized probably to finish it off. It's going to be putting a little bit of hurt on those Vindicators. It looks like the Riptide got the kill on the engineer, so no lucky breaks there for Zugspitze. Happy is 2 on top of that, and that Riptide just goes down. Totally eliminated there by Zug. Cryo shot fires off there. And almost catches a Tsunami Tank, but it doesn't catch a Tsunami Tank, which has activated those nano machines to give it a little extra speed boost, a little extra repair to be able to escape that multi-gunner turret. 2 multi-gunner turrets on the front line, and this is a tier 2 MCV. Finally, that Harvester did go down. Happy able to make himself safe, and I guess that would work if there was an assault destroyer with the black hole armor, but that's not actually doing anything. A couple of Imperial Warriors going to be trying to clear out that building, and they actually will be able to get the kill on a couple of those Javelin troopers, so nicely done there by Zugspitze. 2 shrink down Tsunami Tank, going to be kind of taking them out of the fight, and the backup of the MCV sends it into low power mode. Those multi-gunner turrets useless for a couple of seconds there, but the tank busters have to pull back. They can't afford to get crushed by this MCV. They may need to go down into the ground. A big transform from these choppers could be used, or at least one chopper, to try and get some kills, some damage done on this MCV. The Tsunami Tank's pushing forward, but they're not doing anything right now. It's all about this MCV control, and it looks like one Imperial Warrior will go down, trying to just pop up and then go back down. Ooh, Cryocopter's dangerously low, dangerously close to going down, but they will survive for now. The MCV taking a lot of damage from all of this infantry, which now surrounds it. Vindicators or Tengus going to be trying to make something happen here as the Tsunami Tank's pressing on forward for Zugspitze. Going to be pushing Happy in opposite directions, pushing the main base of Happy, while the MCV gets brought down here to run away, I guess, out onto the water to try and escape those infantry. Nice transform of one Chopper VX. Both of the Vindicators go down, but now the Apollos are here to finish the job and get the kills. The skies are cleared. Zugspitze losing everything in the air to those Apollos. And for now, the MCV does escape. One Tengu will try and chase it down. The Chopper VX needs to potentially go for the transform to actually secure that kill. MCV down versus MCV down would be a much more fair place to be. And the MCV is going to set itself up, going to be sending those Apollos back home. So the transform of the Strikers would have been sacrificial, as the Chopper VXs take a little bit of extra damage there. The MCV does go down. The Engineer eliminated everything, evening up for these two guys. And that dog is drawing the attention of a couple of Tengus. So unlike Zugspitze, who got a nice cash bonus for selling his MCV, Happy got nothing for his. Dog pulls all the way back down to the southern side of the map, along the edge there. And going to be trying to stay alive. Going to be trying to avoid the Empire detection. Another Chopper VX stomping its way to the front line. Stomp, 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 stomp. They make such funny, like, footfall noises. Ooh, these cryocopters, they always have to be careful. The Apollos at the same time have to do basically the same dance. The Strikers step forward. The Riptide's not enough power to be able to step forward and do anything about that. And potential for some Tier 2 action going on. But Tank Busters and an Imperial Warrior is going to be able to bust through those. Well, the one shrunken down Tsunami Tank will also do a bit of damage to the Riptides, but it's really about the infantry in this situation. The Apollos, if they go down, they do. They get eliminated. The refinery goes down as well. And Zugspitze, he's going to be able to crush through this army, and he's killed the aircraft, so it's his game to win. His game to claw back in form of victory. And he has broken the back of Happy. The death of the MCV. No cash. Oh, he gets one Apollo. But the Apollo immediately takes a ton of damage from those Strikers, forced to sell off. If he had a couple of Riptides, he could hang out on the water getting the repairs. But there's just almost nothing left for either player. No, oh my gosh, he got an MCV out. He had enough cash to get an MCV out. Tsunami Tank's showing up to do a bit of damage. The Cryocopter got the damage out on that, the Cryocopter got the freeze on that Tsunami Tank, but there's nothing here to go for the kill. There's the fire sale. Happy giving up. He's going to type the GG, and that is it. Zugspitze showing us how it's done. What a game on Snowplow. Wow, that is not how I thought that was going to go. I thought Happy was going to break him easy. My gosh, Zugspitze showing us some great Empire play. Look at that. In total, these guys neck and neck in the resources, but check out how it was diverged at the beginning and then brought together at the end. So Zugspitze opened strong, and even though he lost a refinery, Happy's refineries were so late that he was able to even things up. I guess the two oil derricks do really add up over that much time. But, yeah. And then the third refinery got added on for Happy, and that's where the lines actually start to converge. Is at that point, you know, you've spent a lot of your initial money that you had over your opponent, and then by that point, you're just basically on 2 refinery economy versus 3 refinery economy. Anyways, that will do it for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and this is Sybert signing out. This is Sybert signing in to Red Alert 3 on the map Fire Island for some more random for the win 71 games. In the top right-hand corner as the yellow allies, this is Vindies. In the bottom left-hand corner as the orange Soviets, this is Chris. Chris 880 versus Vindies. Back when I stopped casting in, I guess, 2015, this would have been a pretty hefty mismatch. Vindies would absolutely stomp Chris, and I think I'm comfortable to say that. I think Chris would probably agree with me. Flak Cannon and a War Factory first, so Chris going very defensive and very wary in this game. Going to be dropping a refinery there as well, and it looks like maybe some misplaced walls, a little bit of a misclick there by Chris potentially, and it looks like potential for 2 oil derricks for Vindies. Now, he does have the engineers on the way. Of course, his dogs did see this pretty early on. And, of course, it's going to be Bullfrog captures. It's going to be potential for terror drones and sickles all going to be coming out. Now that there are 2 Bullfrogs here, the Flak Cannon does get canceled because Chris doesn't need it. But if your opponent has gone fast Vindicators, then they are going to be able to eliminate your Bullfrogs with their Vindicators. And if your Bullfrogs come out one by one, then your Vindicators, the Vindicators will continuously be able to kill your Bullfrogs one by one, and you'll never get ahead. So that's why you see the Flak Cannon get 99% completed, then paused, and then canceled. Once you know you're safe, you are good. Vindicator going to be heading out to the right side of the map. Both of the oil derricks getting grabbed by Vindies, and of course we could see some engineers load up into Bullfrogs and get parachuted over there. Although the MCV is moving, and it looks like he's just probably going to drop a barracks over here and then potentially just try and kill this oil derrick over there. Sickle's going to be coming in. The Terror Drone did get eliminated, and these Vindicators taking a ton of damage, getting eliminated. Holy cow! both Vindicators going down is a big deal. Dogs spread out throughout the map. That's what those dots are. And I cannot believe that Chris got the kill on both of those Vindicators like that. Jumping into this. Ooh, missing with 2 of the sickles, but jumping in to get the kill on this Harvester will be able to overwhelm this Riptide. And although the Riptide can trade out and then retreat back for some free repairs, so always going to be winning that equation as long as the micro is good enough for Vindies. MCV on the move, so he is just pushing right down the right side of the map. I almost said right down the middle, which of course wouldn't make any sense, but a nice escape out there for Chris. So Chris able to harass, kill the Harvester, and pull on out, which is exactly what he wants. Harvester halfway done rebuilding, but the Naval Yard has already been sold off. So these 3, maybe 4 Riptides, yeah, 4 Riptides are it for Vindies. Other than that, it's going to be Vindicators, and then, oh my gosh. Wow, Chris gets the infect with the terror drone, so that MCV has to drive all the way back home, oh so slowly, to get the heals from that airfield. A second refiner, or a second harvester going to be going down. Chris playing this out so nicely. Reactor armor is going to mean that these Riptides will need a literal heat death of the universe to be able to kill that harvester. Riptides just don't have a ton of DPS in that situation. And Harvester will get some free repairs, may end up getting eliminated by this extra sickle, which does get crushed by the MCV, so some nice value for Vindies. Chris making a critical mistake, gets all of his... Wow, all of his sickles just get eliminated there. He's got 2 on the reinforcement path, but that is just a sad, sad state. And it looks like the heat death of the universe has indeed expired. More sickles going to be coming out. It looks like no super reactor coming out for Chris, so no hammer tanks here for the current moment. He's just rocking those 2 reactors. And the sickles will eventually overwhelm the Riptides, but the Riptides got the kill on the Ore Harvester, so that set back the economy of Chris by enough. And this Terror Drone nearly getting an infect there. And may try and head over here and try and get some kind of lockdown on one of these units, but unlikely to really do too much there. Sickles slowly getting targeted down, but the Riptides will eventually get eliminated by these sickles. They're in good enough numbers that they're not going to let the sickles escape. And although the targeting could be better from Vindy, he's going to be allowing 2 of those sickles to survive. He could have gotten the kill, certainly on at least one of them, and the other one a possible kill as well. Harvester back up and running, so 3 refineries for these guys, having to rebuild a couple of harvesters, or at least 1 harvester for Chris and 2 harvesters for Vindy. Super reactor coming up, and it looks like Chris drew the short straw. Very unfortunate that he got a janky harvester bug, as this guy is just driving all over the place. Adding, you know, a couple of seconds to each trip cuts your economy by some percentage, and over time that is going to add up. Man, these couple of sickles could just get eliminated by a couple of bombs. Nice use of Desolator drops, or Desolator strike to to kill that harvester. That sickle jump was so mistimed for the Vindicator bomb drop that it really did nothing. Harvester does take a little bit of damage from that Vindicator, but Chris puts it back into the reactor armor mode, so gonna be doing that. But Chris was able to keep that Harvester alive, so he doesn't have to rebuild that. No easy Harvester kills for Vindies. Riptide's going to be trying to chase these Soviet forces away, and they just really want the kill on that sickle because that is most of the strength of this army, although hammer tanks should be popping out relatively soon for Chris. Terror Drone trying to slow down these Riptides. May have to cancel that barracks just for the cash to try and get something out. Finally, that sickle does go down. Vindicators come in for a great bombing run. This 1 hammer tank is here, but he did not get the leech on those bullfrogs, which means no anti-air for Chris. Those 3 Vindicators, they're going to be back in just a minute, and this might be the beginning of the end as Vindies has clawed his way back from a not ideal kind of an opening. That early harass for Chris was looking so good, but now Vindies is back in control. Resetting the bullfrog count to 0 is such a nice feeling, as as an allied player with 4 Vindicators out on the field. And actually, he may be hunting Engineers as well. I just don't know that Chris is going to have any real opportunity to cap that oil derrick. Although if he sends out an Engineer right now, he may be able to get it. Both of the hammer tanks do go down, so that's a successful bombing run for these Vindicators. And no Engineer to get the sneaky grab of those oil derricks, so they continue to just tick away more and more credits for Vindies. Even a 4th refinery up and running, and now Vindies has become fully powered. And Tier 2, Assault Destroyers out on the field. This is only going to get more difficult from here. Chris is now going to be fighting from a down position. He can definitely do it. Riptide's going to be getting that little bit of a damage boost, but slowly working away at that MCV is the least, is not the greatest of Chris's worries, but he does have to be worried about that. So he pulls his MCV back on land. Loses another, I guess, Bullfrog it was there to those Vindicators. Loses the Engineer. And Chris simply can't afford losses like that at this point. Does sell off 1 reactor, could get a little more cash in his bank. Gonna go for the airfield. Of course, when you see the 4 Vindicators, you know that they don't have any Apollos, so you know that your MiGs are going to reign supreme. And, well, that gives an opportunity for Chris to do something here. He is going to be guarding this Engineer with the Bullfrogs, but that is 1,000 credits to try and get that. And Desolator Airstrike going to be coming down. It will catch pretty much everything here, so a great catch by Vindies. Ooh, 1 Peacekeeper does manage to escape. The Riptide doesn't take very much damage either. Lots of splash damage, a perfectly timed bombing run by those Vindicators. Walls do go up barely in time. Going to be able to save that Ore Collector from the Peacekeeper massacre, as it's at so little HP that it almost doesn't even matter how much HP that guy has, because both of these guys in the south, the Harvester, is getting eliminated, 1 by an Assault Destroyer and 1 by a Riptide, as Vindies is just simply picking Chris apart piece by piece. Hey, Terror Drones are good, but it's going to take them a long time to kill that Assault Destroyer, and longer than that Assault Destroyer would need to kill that refinery, which is why you saw Chris get his $86 of cash back and just simply go for the sell there. Refinery does get taken out. That's the wonderful thing about timing your bombing run like you saw Vindies do. If you get the splash damage, it just means it's that much easier to kill that refinery with a second bombing run later. Chris, holding on for dear life against Vindies, was never able to eliminate those oil derricks. Took him a long time to finally cap 1 and be able to do anything about it. Was able to clear out the Riptide. Always nice. Vindicators coming in for another bombing run. They may have to trade out a couple of their lives. 1 Vindicator does go down in the south. The other Vindicators going to be able to escape. Yep, they're going to get on out of there. So more cost-effective engagements for Vindies. And things are not looking good. Although this Harvester is off the line. Has been off the line for who knows how long, as purchasing just about everything, so not much but time left in this game, and even the bit of time that is left is about to be dominated by lasers. Harvester does get frozen. Reactor not enough to actually block it, and these multi-gunner IFVs will go down, but that's about it. Athena Cannon now out on the field. Potential for an aircraft carrier as well. And, hey, you know, even from a boot camp, might we see a Tanya? Anything is possible at this point. Mirage tank now here. Another Bullfrog going down, giving chase as the Twin Blades Bullfrog combo, which can be a very powerful harassment tool. Seems a little bit late and a little bit antiquated at the current moment. They can, of course, escape out onto the water, a place that Mirage tanks cannot go. But when your main base is getting targeted down by aircraft carriers and there are 4 Vindicators looking for some easy targets, then there isn't a whole lot else to say. So I will keep talking as this game winds down. Twin Blades get the kill on the Mirage tank, so that's something going Chris's direction, but he's about to lose his Tier 2 to an aircraft carrier. He's lost his 3rd refinery. He's down to just 1 refinery with a very low health harvester. He lost the oil derrick, so it's back under Vindies' control. The bullfrogs, they're doing what they can. The twin blades getting some shots off on the power plant, and for now they will be able to escape. They will be able to get the kill on that power plant way out on the water if they really want to, but it's a consolation prize if nothing else at this point. Barracks goes down. MCV on the water is going to make a last stand, some kind of last-ditch effort, although this aircraft carrier will go down. 1 terror drone has already infected it, and then these other terror drones are going to be going for the lock on it, although the Dolphin is actually here to splash down those terror drones, so actually those terror drones will not be effective. Perfect play there by Vindies. Twin Frog going to be heading on south to run the last bit of defense. Might get the kill on the Athena cannon, but I don't know that it'll really be enough to stop this assault. Trades out 1 twin blade, and the other twin blade, fully heroic, will survive for now. Might eventually be able to work down this aircraft carrier, but it's like the aircraft carrier is going to get the kill on this ore refinery, although cashback does happen there for Chris. And then while he's killing that, Vindicators and everything else from Vindies is just going to cut the rest of his forces to pieces. EMP locks down those bullfrogs, and Chris has been defeated. A little long in the tooth there, as the writing was on the wall for him, but definitely a good showing from Chris, let's say in minutes 3 and 4, and then beyond that, Vindies started to dominate and started to show why he was such a top-tier player back in the day, even though he didn't take this tournament, even though he got knocked out. We can see where those kind of skills come from. That will do it for this game. We're going to check out some more For the Win 71 replays in the future. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out. This is Sybert signing in to Red Alert 3 on the map Temple Prime. This is from For the Win 71. I'm just going to be taking a look. I downloaded a bunch of replays. I'm going to be taking a look at some of them. And the good ones, I will upload. The bad ones, I will not. On the left-hand side, as the Cyan Empire, this is Berat. Or Berat? I don't know. Tried to flatten out the A. On the right-hand side, as the Green Empire, this is QueenOni, a.k.a. QO, who I'm going to assume is rusty just based on the fact that I've seen the grand finals, and at this point they are out on my channel, and QueenOni wasn't there, so that makes me think that QueenOni may not be in as good of shape as once upon a time, but still could be providing some good games. As I said, this is from For the Win number 71. Random games from the winner's bracket, from the loser's bracket, from best of 3, best of 1 series. You know, just we're going to be taking a look at a handful of matches, and hopefully it'll turn out a couple of good VODs from them. Plus, we don't often get to see Empire mirror matchups, and mirror matchups can be very weird. They can also be a lot of fun to watch. Sudden Transport going to be heading out for QueenOni. And Temple Prime, also a map that we don't see very often. Now, of course, map balance or map bias doesn't really matter in a mirror matchup, but it still, of course, does come down to player preference. Some players just don't like a particular map, but at least we don't have anything like, you know, strategies or tactics which favor one faction over another faction. Getting both oil derricks means that the Mecha Bay is pretty darn late, especially in comparison to QueenOni's Mecha Bay, and this is going to give the tank busters an opportunity to break into this refinery. They're going to be able to cut down one of the wall segments, forcing the MCV to pack up, but this is just a time-buying tactic. The first Tengu is now out. Now, of course, this is going to be difficult to overcome. We got 3 Tengus and a bunch of tank busters here for QueenOni. Wall's going to be coming down. And Imperial Warriors trying to get the slice and dice, trying to get the kill there. But a couple of losses are going to be okay for Berat, although if things start adding up, losing another power plant, for example, would be a big deal and something difficult to really make up in a strong way. Getting the kill on more and more of these tank busters. Nice moves there by Berat, and also walling off just barely in time. Doesn't get the honorable discharge. Wasn't able to get the kill with that Tengu, and QueenOni, on the other hand, going to be saving as many Tengus as possible. Only one tank buster left means that this attack does not have a lot of strength left in it, and QueenOni, forced to turn tail and run, is going to get on out of there with the sudden transport and going to get on out of there with the Tengu. And honestly, I have no idea which way that attack ended up going. I think it's going to favor QueenOni a little bit, like forcing the rebuild of the power plant. Getting the kill on a couple of those Tengus can really snowball it. The only real saving grace for Berat is the fact that he has those 2 oil derricks, which of course will indeed add up. And he did get the kill on a couple of, I think he got the kill on 1 Tengu. He got the kill on those tank busters though, which is definitely nice. But being ahead in a big Tengu fight can be enough to swing things into your favor. Ooh, getting the kill on another Tengu would be a great deal for QueenOni, but the Tengu doesn't actually manage to escape as reinforcements going to be showing up, and QueenOni starting to just overwhelm Berat and forcing him to run around with those Tengus. Going to be transforming and saving that 1 Tengu is QueenOni, keeping a couple of guys in the sky just in case Berat tries to transform and get away to safety. On the top side of the map, nope, that is just a couple of civilian structures being capped by Berat. So no cheeky MCV plays, rebuilding the power plant over there and camping out in front of the Mecha Bay. Always an irritating thing to do, but QueenOni is in a very strong position. Again, the oil derricks are nice to have, but a whole bunch of Tengus are even nicer to have. If he gets the kill on the Mecha Bay, then surely this has to be tap out, right? And oh, Tsunami Tank is here, so this will be able to clean up a couple of these Tengus. It is going to be a bit of a close one as to whether or not the Tengus are going to be forced to retreat before they get the kill on this Mecha Bay, especially now that there are 2 Tsunami Tanks out here. They maybe could have stayed and got the kill on the Mecha Bay if they would have sacrificed themselves, but QueenOni is not into sacrifices, getting his own Tier 2 up and running on that Mecha Bay. MCV heads to the high ground for Berat. Berat has stabilized. Although, losing all of those units, losing all of those power plants, that is a cost that is going to come, that the bill is going to come for at some point. Those 2 oil derricks, probably not going to be enough to pay that bill. 2 chopper VXs, 2 tsunami tanks, and half of the health on this Mecha Bay. That is the status of Berat. QueenOni, on the other hand, going to be sending out a couple of chopper VXs. Going to be getting the kill on the oil derrick in the north. Big bunch of Tengus going to be heading in on the left side of the map. They're going to see a couple of tsunami tanks back home. No big transform for QueenOni. Conyard on the high ground, a potential 3rd refinery location. Berat starting to push in with those point defense drones. He's going to have the potential for, no, this big transform should swing things into the favor of QueenOni. Losing 2 chopper VXs is pretty darn bad there. Loses a 3rd one as well. Now keep in mind, this is still an overwhelming number of Tengus for QueenOni. And actually make it a refinery out. Berat is building something, and it's very close to finishing up there. Also trying to drop a couple of walls as well. So it's going to be hard to keep everything alive with this many Tengus. It's going to be hard to keep a refinery and a harvester alive. MCB forced to pack up. He's going to be running for the hills. Power plants exposed, will be targeted down and destroyed. But MCV going for some crushes. Nope, no easy, lucky crushes for Berat. Again, playing from behind. Potentially going to be able to pull something out of his hat. Tengus pulling on back, going to be heading home. QueenOni, still nothing in terms of a 3rd refinery just yet. No expansions coming up. Chopper VX is going to be targeting down these civilian structures again, just trying to clear them out and push back the map presence and map awareness of Berat. Berat stepping forward with some tsunami tanks. Another striker VX going to be joining the party as well. And, I mean, really, the only chance that he has is a miracle engagement, which certainly is possible, but, oh, that sudden transport there from QueenOni just hanging out. And Chopper VX is on the ground, going to get targeted down. Strikers in the sky will get eliminated as well. But eventually the numbers do turn in favor of QueenOni. Another striker does go down, and actually that's going to be another chopper eliminated nearly by Berat. QueenOni does save it with the Tengu transform, and this Tsunami tank does get eliminated. So still no third refinery for Berat, forced to pack and unpack his MCV time and time again. Tengu's going to be trying to get the kill on a couple of Imperial Warriors in the temple in the middle of the map. And eventually the temple will get broken down by QueenOni. That's unfortunate. A national monument just destroyed by the recklessness of war. No MCV cell, so this is interesting that Berat is not trying an MCV cell to try and all in and even things up. You know, an MCV, selling it, using the engineer to try and sneak something from QueenOni would be a great way to try and come back in this game. But for now, Berat is just content to look for an perfect engagement or a nearly perfect engagement, something where he gets insane value versus the stuff that QueenOni has. Although in the past, I mean, Berat has been able to get pretty good value from the Chopper VXs. This is a lot of point defense drones, so this is going to be a lot of stuff to try and overwhelm with just 4 choppers, well, 4 strikers and 2 tsunamis. MCV pulling back to the main base. Might also have to be forced to draft another power plant, which never fun when you're down like this. Tengu's in the north, Chopper VXs pulling off in the south. 6 of them down here, and too many Tengus to actually count in the north. Chopper VX is going to be getting some free shots off on these Tengus, but now they're pretty much surrounded as the choppers show up for QueenOni. Emperor's Rage does fire off. It will give a little bit of extra DPS to Berat's units, allowing him to nearly clear the skies. It looks like maybe one Chopper VX will survive, but on the ground, the Tsunami tanks have mostly cleared things out, and that is it. So Berat has been defeated. A pretty one-sided game from the very beginning from QueenOni. That tank buster opening gave so much leverage, so much space to QueenOni in that EVE. And of course, mirror matchups can snowball perhaps more easily than non-mirror matchups or asymmetrical matchups. So that definitely can happen, and that is how QueenOni finishes that one out. That will do it for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed the Empire vs. Empire action, and this is Sybert signing out.